Okay, the April 10th business meeting of the directors of Roseburg Public Schools. We are glad to have you in person and online. We have a couple housekeeping rules. We will have public participation tonight, so if you would like to speak to the public, as you come in, there's a table. You'll need to fill out a card and drop it into the basket. And you'll get 2 minutes to speak. I know it's not very long, but kind of put your thoughts together because it'll go fast. If you have a cell phone, would you please silence that now? A reminder, our meetings are on Zoom, and you can get that information a couple, 2 to 3 days before the meeting it's on the main page. And then they are recorded and the meetings will be archived sometime tomorrow. Do we have anyone from the news media here tonight? Okay. So before we ask for Principal David Vickery to come up, I do want to thank the high school staff and the central office staff and Matt Hill, our technical guy behind the screen, for setting up for the meeting. It takes a lot of work, and we took a tour today at 4:45. Spent a lot of time in the CTE building, and I'm sure he'll talk about that tonight. So, did I hit everything? Yep. Okay, David, you're up.
All right, thank you for having me. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm David Vickery. I'm the principal here at RHS. And when we get started, one of the things that we like to do here is when we have a meeting or something that we're doing, professional development, we like to start with like a warm opening or a powerful opening. And so I kind of want to start with why we're here. You obviously can't see these pictures. You two are in there somewhere. But that's all of our students here at RHS. So today, when I'm talking about RHS and I'm talking about numbers and I'm talking about programs and things, I want us to keep in mind that we're talking about human beings. We're talking about these human beings, and they're going through our system. I'd like to publicly thank our elementary schools and our middle schools for what they do to get all of these students here, and then what we go from there. But keep in mind that these are all human beings, and we're doing our best and they're doing their best to come out of here ready to rock and roll. So first, what guides us: strategic plan, SEL, and then the 5 Ds. We've talked, almost every single principal's talked about all of these in depth, but this is what grounds our work. This is where we go and what leads us. One of the things that last year that happened with each division or department is they came up with a vision for their department and division, or their vision. And all of those were collected in an RHS vision for student learning experience was created. RHS students experience safe, equitable, and positive environments where students belong, take risks, collaborate, persevere, and engage in meaningful, relevant learning in order to meet their personal potential. Students are empowered, curious learners, effective problem solvers, critical thinkers who achieve their goals, strive for excellence, celebrate success, and are prepared to contribute to the communities throughout their lives. This is our promise to them. When we read this, you see it around campus. We talk about this when we're doing our professional development, and we keep it in mind because that is our promise. I'd be remiss to say that to get the learning that we want from our students, we need to get the learning from us, from me down. And with that, we have the professional learning theory of action, which it prioritizes professional learning opportunities, provides support and feedback, fostering meaningful discourse among teachers. When we can create an environment that encourages substantive student conversations and intellectual engagement that increases opportunities for students to self-assess, take ownership of their learning in all phases of learning throughout the school. So this is what we do as professionals in our theory of action, and then it trickles down to them. So let's just hop right in. 9th grade on track. Probably the single most important number coming through that first year for our students that really dictates the jumping off point of how successful they'll be in their high school experience. Last year, we were at 85% with over, and we want that to be over 90. Some of the things and actions that we're doing to increase that number this year is ninth grade small learning communities, which is groups of teachers that get together and come up with ideas, solutions, support systems for students for them to be successful. We had a ninth grade cafe. Some of you were able to do that. That's where at the beginning of the year, we met with every single ninth grade student to go over grades and to go over with some planning and some goal setting. But most of all, to make a connection. I got to be there the whole time, and I've even to this day when I see kids coming in, and that's the only time I've ever seen them, and they'll still talk to them. I talk about records with one kid. It was a great time for us to make connections, but also talk about their grades and also talk about what their next steps are. Grad coaches, we are lucky to have 2 grad coaches that help with the on track, with meeting with kids, chasing them down, calling parents, home visits. They do quite a bit. Extended learning opportunities, which is ELO, which is a ninth grade after school tutoring, and that they get help that the teachers have done. We give a little food for them. I believe that if the statistics its first semester were, if you were an ELO, you were 40% more likely to have raised your grades at semester than if the kids that didn't go there at all. We also had a couple sophomores kind of trickle in there as well. Summer school, we have a robust summer school, and I'll kind of talk about that as we get through here too. Next, we know that at the high school that we do state testing at the 9th or the 11th grade level. In our language arts, academic achievement last year was 41%. And here's what we're doing. We have early interventions with literacy classes at the 9th and the 10th grade, currently using a new curriculum that's been here for a little bit. Still working that out, but it's turning into a great tool for our teachers with our kids. The other thing is you've heard with a lot of elementary school, they get to have these different data check-ins throughout the year, where in high school, we don't really have a lot of those opportunities, but we're able to have some of this with that curriculum, and we'll have some more things. We have some this year, but even more next year, where we can assess and track progress through the year, which is really important to get an idea where we're at. The other thing too is where the test is given in language arts for 11th grade, the opportunities in each class, you read, write, and you speak. So those are all opportunities to continue to grow and know that it's a combined effort. Mathematic achievement, once again, at the 11th grade, last year we're at 18.8. Some of the interventions that we're working this year with that is the ramp up to math, which is where they come in a 9th grade. It's like a pre-algebra. They're not quite ready for that math core 1. They work on it that year, and then the next year start their math core 1. We also have strategies 1, 2, and 3, which is kind of a parallel support for when they're in their grade level classes, math 1, math 2, and then whatever that other +3 is. +1. New framework, that's it. It's the 2+1 model where we started it this year. The state has moved to that, where we have math core 1, math core 2, and then it kind of splinters off from there, where we have data science, we have CTE math, which is really coming in strong. We have all the advanced algebra, which used to be called algebra 2, just different platforms and that kids can reach that get that 3rd credit, depending on what their next steps are, either college, career, whatever that is. The other thing that we spend a lot of time on is the teacher development group. And it's kind of a math studio, math sustainability piece where administration has worked with an outside source to come in to help us give better feedback to our math teachers so that we can help them grow. And then we bring in our math teachers and they work together, observe each other. We just had our last one for the year. I have to admit that in my time, I've been through a lot of different trainings or things like this. This was magnificent. Being able to go to the math conference that they put on. It's good stuff, and our teachers were very engaged with this, and I know that we're going to see an improvement because of the work they're putting in with this. Graduation rate. On-time graduation was 79% last year. 5-year completion was 92. Actions. Besides the 9th grade on track being number one, this would be number 1B. We know that more CTE opportunities will create a higher grad rate. Right now, if you take multiple CTE classes at Roseburg High School, the graduation rate is over 95%. Plain and simple. More CTE, better graduation rate. School-wide support team, SSST. This is very much like the 9th grade on track, where we talked about 9GS, where we look at data for 10th, 11th, and 12th and come up with strategies and interventions to work with those kids to get those Fs down. Behavior team is a positive behavior to recognize kids for doing the right thing and keep things positive. One of the things I really like doing is the prize patrol, get to bust in on a classroom and recognize kids and get to do a prize patrol. We have 2 graduation coaches that I talked about earlier, athletic, after school study hall. We have summer school. We have a really robust summer school. I got to see it last year, which is magnificent. To quote Mr. Bogardus in a staff meeting that we had earlier this week, it's not a program we want to grow. We want to make sure that those numbers get small, but we're very grateful for the opportunity to have that. And it's kids make up a lot of credits there. We have Apex credit retrieval. We have on-site GED. We have a college and career center. And this one here, and really throughout all of this, some heroes are our counselors. They're the ones that are on the front line with meeting with kids and making sure that they're getting the right academic planning. And they're usually one of the first people that can say, hey, I noticed that something's going on here and we need to do something that sometimes the data doesn't say. Dual credit. There you go. Okay, so dual credit and advanced placement opportunities here at RHS for this next year, we'll currently have over 40 advanced placement and dual credit classes. And then for the 2025-26 school year, we're looking to have over 50. This is where I want to give a shout out to Brett Steinacker, the P20 coordinator, because he has been influential in helping us get aligned and do this. We would not be able to do this without him and all the work that he's put in with this. So I want to make sure that he gets recognized, because every time we add these classes, he's done the backside work of that. CTE. So I was starting to write down all the CTE classes that we have here, and I was like, this is going to take me a while. So I actually just took this from the planning guide, the graduation planning guide, and it's pretty crazy. You know, we have business marketing, we have health occupations, hospitality, tourism, recreation, carpentry, manufacturing, early childhood education, automotive, drafting, agriculture and natural resources. Well, a lot of you got to see that today firsthand. The other thing that's about this is a lot of the things in these bubbles are what our community is asking for, and we want to be able to provide that. And then it's I don't know, I kind of get excited when I talk about CTE because it's a great place to go visit and see kids working on something that they're going to want to do later, and its infancies, and it's pretty amazing. So activities, athletics, and then clubs. We have 20 girls and boys athletic programs, over 60 clubs, band, choir, drama, FFA, FBLA, robotics, National Honor Society. We have many opportunities to involve kids outside of the classroom. You've heard it called probably like extracurricular activities. I like to call it co-curricular activities, because I know there's, myself probably included when I was here, some of the only things that got me through that door were some of these activities. And a lot of our on-staff folks and people who don't work here put a lot of time and energy into these things. One of the things that I think is pretty special here, and I've told kids this, is if there's something that doesn't interest you that we already have, come tell us what your interests are, and we will figure out a way to create it. Right? There's got to be something for everything. And leadership has done a great job this year with their grants and that they've done to promote these. And this will be the last time I tell the story, but we had a pickleball club come through, and they wanted to become a club. And my favorite thing is on there, they have to say how many members will be part of the pickleball club. And this young person said 6 to 1,000. And let's go. So, all right. One thing that I want to hit on before I take questions is I've been to a couple, almost all of them, meetings here. And one of the questions that I know that some of you have asked before are you satisfied with your data? The answer is no. But if we were 99.9, I would not be satisfied. I'd wonder what we could have done differently for that one kid. Now, am I proud of our staff? Yes. They work hard, they care about kids, and they do everything that is needed to make sure that the kids have what they need for whatever the next thing is. Am I proud of our kids? Yeah, I'm really proud of them. Every day I get a front row seat to see how hard they work and how much they want it. And coming through the door sometimes can be the hardest thing for a kid, but they do. So yeah, I want our data to be better, but I'm proud of what we're doing. Any questions?
Just a couple questions. I was looking at the ninth grade on track, and it says 85% last year. That 85% of what? I mean, when you say on track, I mean, is there 100% on track? What does that mean?
So 85% means that there were 85% of the kids that finished ninth grade with 7 or more credits. Yeah, if you had 6 credits, you're not on track. Right? You are on track. Sorry. I've come from an 8 system. So yes, so you have 6 or more credits.
Right. And so then, okay, then looking over at the language arts, it's 41%. And that means 60% of the students aren't on track.
So that means 61% of the students did not meet or exceed the state test.
All right. And then the scary one is the math. 80% of the students. I mean, it's just scary to see.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. I know we're doing all we can. But you know, and the more I learn about what we're doing, it's helpful to hear, but it's still hard to hear that 80% is not meeting our math standards. So
it'd be even harder to hear if we weren't doing anything about it.
Yeah. It looks like the intervention. Now, when you say interventions, what does that mean? Does that mean it's one-on-one tutoring, or do you have seniors tutoring the younger?
It just means that there's different things in place to help support the students other than just being in the class. You know, one of the things about the testing too that I think we start with is we've already finished our testing with language arts, and we're almost finished with science, and we have tested 100% of our kids thus far. That means we're doing the due diligence to make sure that we get accurate numbers so that we can make sure that we know how to help these kids and get them to exceed or meet the standard.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Once again, thank you for the tour. I was thinking, you're a Roseburg graduate.
Yes, sir.
Thinking it'll be 50 years for me next year, the 20.
It was 30 this summer.
That's crazy
for me. Yeah.
And I will tell you, I had a wonderful experience a long time ago. I know I don't look that old, but a long time ago here at Roseburg High School. And I know the staff will get those numbers up.
Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind.
I know that. So, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Leadership time. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, please.
Hi guys, my name is Hannah Heiberger and I'm the ASB president of Roseburg Leadership, and I'm here with Sylvia Ekman and she is the vice president. So for today, I'm going to go ahead and start us off with the leadership portion. Right now in leadership, our class is working in their committees. So our prom committee is working really hard. They've been organizing chaperones and DJs and all the kind of things that come with like a big event like that. This week we got a lot of our shipments in of decorations. So they were setting those up and figuring out how setting that up was going to go. We also went digital with our applications this year. So we ended up turning our giant packet of an application into a Google form. And so at Pride Night and around school, there is posters where students can scan the QR code to apply for next year's leadership class. And then we are preparing for elections right now in class, and elections will happen May 15th. And the student body and teachers will elect a new president, and the student body will also be choosing their class representatives for next year. And our Volley Buff committee is working on getting applications out, and we're preparing for a lot of the different festivities that come along with homegoing week and prom and all of that sort of thing.
And then moving on to sports, the spring sports teams are killing it. Our girls lacrosse team is currently undefeated, which is super cool. And they're on the road this Friday for another game. I believe it's in Albany. And then our girls softball team is ranked third in our conference, which is super cool. And they have a doubleheader this Friday. And then same goes for the baseball team. They have a doubleheader on Saturday, and they're ranked second in our conference. Our girls tennis team is currently hosting matches right now at the tennis center across from the YMCA. And I think they're playing South Eugene tonight. And then boys lacrosse has a home game tomorrow against Thurston. And then the track team, we have the big home invitational, the Jim Robinson Twilight, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be over 1,600 athletes competing this weekend, which is super cool. And it's sponsored this year by the Champion Car Wash and the Coca-Cola groups. So 2 local businesses supporting the sports programs, which is super cool. And I'll hand it back.
And on to school. I'm sure you guys all heard about Pride Night, which we hosted last week. So that was really fun to get to see all the new and incoming students coming into RHS. They got a chance to see a little bit about the electives that they can take and find things that they're interested in and get used to the school that they're going to be in next year. We also have 4 staff members at the high school that recently learned about being awarded a Fund for Teachers grant sponsored by the Ford family. This program supports teachers in traveling over the summer to enrich their curriculum, so that's really cool and a super great opportunity. On Tuesday, the band program at RHS collaborated with both middle school programs, and they put on a concert here at RHS in the Rose Theater. And also on the topic of band, while hosting a league festival, they qualified for state, making it the 14th year in a row. Thank you, guys.
Questions for them? Okay, thank you. So now we're going to get ready for student recognition and Crystal Apple Award winners. And when your name is called, please come up to the front, bring all your friends, family, staff members. And then after student, we'll do the Crystal Apple, and then we'll take a short break. But all the winners tonight, we would ask that you would come back up to the front before you leave so we can get a group picture with the board. Andrew, our Director Andrew Shirtcliffe, will do the students.
All right, our first student is from Roseburg High School, a 10th grader, Henry Anderson. Come on up, Henry. Staff up here, anybody from Roseburg High School here? Come on up. There we go. Get room here. Okay. Henry is a remarkable student who is hardworking, compassionate, and bright. His classmates enjoy working with him because he listens to their ideas and provides his own insights in a gentle and non-threatening manner without any ego involved. Henry has a love for learning. He strives to enhance his knowledge for his own sake rather than just for the sake of achieving an A on his report card. He is considerate, conscientious, and focused on his studies and cares about his learning because he sees it as an investment in himself, not merely a means to an end. Henry makes learning enjoyable for everyone. Congratulations, Henry.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Henry, and everybody can stay up here. Our next one is also from Roseburg High School, 11th grade, Alex Van Gordon. Come on up. All right, Alex is a truly remarkable person. He is always wearing a bright smile on his face and has an incredible ability to treat others with kindness and generosity. He is an active member of the marching band's color guard, which is an incredibly demanding activity that requires a lot of skill and dedication. However, Alex has tackled this new challenge with a great deal of perseverance and hard work, and he has become an integral part of the team. Alex is equally impressive as a student. He is diligent, well liked by his classmates, and isn't afraid to ask for help when he needs it. Everyone admires his eagerness to learn and willingness to seek clarification when needed. What makes Alex truly exceptional is his positive attitude and his willingness to lend a hand to others and participate in activities that benefit the community. Alex is a role model for his peers, and everyone looks up to him for his remarkable determination and unyielding spirit. Congratulations, Alex.
Next, we have Kristen Brooks. So Kristen Brooks is a science teacher here at Roseburg High School. When you think of the do everything teacher, the person who comes to mind is Kristen Brooks. Not only does she engage with energy to lead her students toward success, she uses her vast knowledge and expertise to guide them toward achieving their goals. She is compassionate and genuinely cares about the well-being of all of her students. Kristen is also an exceptional and effective division leader. She stays on top of the relevant communication with her teacher team and with leadership, ensuring that everyone is on the same page and working toward a common goal. Additionally, she is a mentor for teachers on her team and provides guidance and support as needed. She is active in a variety of non-academic school activities as well. She represents RHS teachers in the Roseburg Education Association, sponsors campus clubs, and has held leadership positions in school functions like Link Crew. Overall, Kristen is an exceptional teacher leader who is dedicated, hardworking, and passionate about her work. Congratulations, Kristen. And on her award, it says enthusiastically reliable, builder of relationships, do it all leader. And next from Roseburg High School, we have Johnny Carlson, Data Support Specialist. Johnny is an exceptional individual who consistently goes above and beyond to help others. Her expertise, skills, and talents are vast, and she is always willing to share them with anyone who requires her assistance. Whether it be working on the RHS website, working with students to improve behavior, or her main job of state testing, Johnny's unwavering dedication to her work is evident and remarkable. Whenever faced with a difficulty, Johnny is always there to provide a solution. Johnny has consistently demonstrated exemplary work habits, maintaining a high standard of quality in her work. Her positive work relationships and professionalism contribute significantly to the positive atmosphere within the various departments she supports. Johnny's commitment to excellence and collaborative spirit make her a valuable asset to the RHS community. And her award says positive, fun, professional, committed, helpful, and relationship builder. Congratulations, Johnny.
One, two, three.
And we will take about a 10-minute break. And if all the recipients of awards will come up, we'll take a group photo with the board. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna resume the meeting back. We have, well, that was weird. You were sleeping over there. Okay, that's okay. We have nobody signed up for public participation tonight, so we will move on to the review of the agenda and communications to the board.
Thank you very much, Chair Cotton. I appreciate that. I want to again thank RHS staff, Dave and the staff for setting this up. If you haven't had a chance to see some of the artwork, I think some of the powder just came out of the kiln, I think, this afternoon. So it's kind of hot out of the kiln, but it looks great. And thank you for the time to get this set up. Matt, as always, thank you as well, and Steph as well. Director Johnson is unable to make it tonight, wishing him well. And also Assistant Superintendent Nee has been on the job fair train. She's been in Portland today with a couple of folks, including Dave Morocco at REA, which is good. We got a good team up there at the job fair, which is great. I do, in terms of the agenda, we do have one additional retirement notice that's not in the consent agenda. Michelle Bain, fifth grade Hillcrest teacher, fifth grade teacher at Hillcrest, that is now on the agenda with this addition. That's all I have.
Okay. Let's move into the consent agenda. Need a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Yeah, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Right, opposed, okay, unanimous. Okay, next thing is resolution 23-24-11. National Teachers Appreciation Week is coming up on May 6th to the 10th. This will be our only directors meeting for April, and we won't meet again until May 8th. And just a reminder, that will be at 4 p.m. at UCC. We'll get more directions to you. And then at 5 o'clock will be our work session. So I'm looking forward to being with the UCC board. That's very, very cool. So anyway, with National Teachers Appreciation Week being May 6th through the 10th, we'd like to get ahead of it. And then we will we'll say something else on the 8th, but we'll be halfway through the week and we want to get going. So I need a motion and a second for resolution 23-24-11.
I move to approve resolution 23-24-11.
Second. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. After the vote, then I will read it into the public record. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. So this is resolution 23-24-11 for National Teachers Appreciation Week. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely different backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling, and coaching students in performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of Roseburg Public Schools proclaim May 6th through the 10th, 2024 to be Teachers Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the Board of Directors of Roseburg Public Schools encourage all members of our community to join in with personally expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work. And it will be signed by all the board members. So that is resolution 23-24-11, and I think we owe applause to our teacher. Okay, so a while back, we had a building insights meeting, and we know that S&B James Construction Company has done a lot of work for us, and looks like they're doing a lot more work for us. And maybe it's just us, but we kind of like to meet the people that are providing services to us. And so you're going to take this over, or?
I'd be happy to. Terry, you want to come on up? Terry Mackey is the Vice President of S&B James. If you don't know much about S&B James, they are a construction design firm. They have been voted a top 100 business in Oregon to work for. I would just say I got to know Terry a few years ago and doing some projects, and something that sets Terry apart is that I had some questions about an item, and Terry wants to sit down and meet with you, problem solve with you. He's direct, transparent, and we've been thrilled with the work that you've done for us. We really appreciate that, and I'm excited about the several of the jobs coming up. Terry, I don't know if you want to talk about those, or I can talk about those.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about Tracy and Cheryl didn't really set me up for success. They just said the board wants to see you. So I was like, okay. So I'm here to answer any questions. We can talk about the projects. We can talk about the partnership that S&B James and the Roseburg School District has built. I'm here for whatever you guys want to talk about. If you want to start with the projects we've got going, we've got the 6 secure vestibules going. And it's kind of funny because we've been doing summer slams, seismic upgrades for you guys. And I think Cheryl and Tracy again wanted to challenge us a little bit more because, $2 million in 2.5 months when the kids aren't there isn't challenging enough. So let's throw some more work out there. So we're excited about the challenge, but we do have the six secure vestibules. And then we also have the 2 seismic summer slams. We also have the Hugh Crest restroom, which we're starting on Monday. And then we also have the choir storage building right outside of here. So we do have a lot. You guys are a great client of ours. You have a great team. I love working with you guys. It's enjoyable. Construction's hard enough as it is. And if you're button heads, it makes it even harder. And we don't have that case. Everybody comes to the table with an open mind, and we problem solve and figure it out. So it's always enjoyable coming up here.
I have a comment. With all the CTE students that we're going to be flying out of this place, we're just looking forward to having them working for you.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I am really excited to see that. The construction industry is an aging industry. The schools for the last 20 years haven't been pushing kids to the construction industry. It's the medical, it's the IT. You don't have those young guys that want to just go in and start working. Hard work and working outside. It seems like our society has been frowning upon that. But if these kids figure out that they can go in and master a trade, they can go anywhere in this country and get a good paying job, really good paying job. And it's not something we can outsource. We can't outsource a high school over at China and bring it back over here and put it together. So for these kids, I'm excited to finally see it turning back around, because quite frankly, it is stifling our growth because the labor pool is short.
That's what I was going to ask you. Since you are involved in several projects here, how is your workforce? Are you currently?
We're always looking for good quality hands. And again, it's aging, right? So well, I'm in that group too. I started in this when I was 17 years old. So we have the workforce. We are union, so we can pull people out of Portland.
Okay.
But overall, the workforce is shrinking. Not just the general contractors, across the subcontractor trades as well.
Do you feel like you do have to pull quite a
No.
bit from?
Now,
other
we
areas?
very rarely. I am very careful. The old saying, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. You go take on too much and you don't perform,
Mhm.
that's a dagger. We can't do that. And we want to make sure that we're taking care of our clients. Bad news travels a lot faster than good news. And we pride ourselves on finishing these projects on time and on budget.
Thank you.
Yep.
I didn't have a question as much as a comment. I just want you to know that, the Building and Sites Committee, subcommittee that we have and our board as a whole and Tracy and Cheryl obviously understand that there's a high level of demand and the things that need to get done in this particular area. And there is a great level of appreciation and respect for the way you
Thank
guys
you.
conduct business and the job that you do. So
Thank
I just wanted to thank you.
We appreciate that. I'll tell you a quick story. It's kind of funny. I get a microphone in front of me because I hate public speaking, but when I get this in front of me, I'll just talk all day long. But it was about 6 years ago we came up here. You guys had a seismic project. Me and my current partner bought S&B James 10 years ago. But our predecessors, they didn't chase public works. They wanted to do more of the mill work, PP&L. So we came up here and decided to come up and get a job, try to get a job with you guys. And our competition beat us. I really took it personally. But I didn't have a relationship with you guys yet. I didn't have the resume because my predecessors didn't do the schoolwork. So we decided that we were going to get heavily involved in this. So we had to build our resume. We went to Powers. We went to Prospect. We went and did these seismic jobs out in the middle of nowhere so that I could get up here and build a relationship with you guys. And it's paying off. We just did $40 million worth of work for Central Point School District. That was a 3-year bond project. And it went really well, and they're giving us a bunch more work. So again, it's our relationships. It's not just this project. We want to continue to partnership with you guys, support the community. And I think we've been doing that. And I appreciate the teamwork everybody's put into it.
We are really glad that you were able to make time to come up
No
to
problem.
see us. I think it is important to know who's working on our buildings and everything I have seen from you guys is top notch. So there's a sign out for the storage unit.
Mhm.
I hate to call it the storage unit, but it's what it is. Has it started? I didn't really look.
We have a little bit of dirt work down. We were waiting on rebar. We will have concrete guys there tomorrow.
Good.
Setting forms.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else?
I'll just mention one thing real quick. I just want to give a shout out to Tracy and Cheryl. And I know you mentioned them. I appreciate that. It does take a collaborative team, and that's great. And then to Terry, to you and your firm, we have a strong expectation that things get done at a high quality here, that it's on time and it's on budget. And as fiscal stewards of these dollars that we get from the public, but that's important for us. I just want to thank you for helping us ensure that we can get things done right the first time, on time and on budget. And that is important to me personally, and I think to the board as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, Cheryl, you have number 4, replacement of the field lights.
Thank you. Some information went out to the board early about the replacement of the lights on the multipurpose field out back. The district is asking for approval to purchase the lights and the installation from Musco Sports Lighting. The cost will be approximately $300,000 and will be paid for by 2 different energy efficiency grants, plus the remainder will be paid from a 3rd grant that the district receives. I gave you some detail about 4 70-foot poles and some of the capabilities of this system. Pending board approval, Musco has put us on their list for August to install the lights, and they expect to be done before the first home football game.
Motion and a second, and we can have discussion.
I'll take care of the motion to approve replacement of the Roseburg High School field lighting.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second,
And a
Uh,
question,
and now it's questions and discussion time.
saving you a breath. I just want to confirm that no money is coming out of the general fund on this.
No money is coming out of the general fund for this.
Further questions? Let's call for the vote.
Just one more. With that Musco Sports, have we dealt with them before? Is that a new?
They're well known in the world of sports lighting. They're like the Tracy can probably speak a little bit more to it, but they're the go-to. I've got pictures of them having done Hillsborough High School, other references that I can share with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Earlier again, policy DID.
We recently had an ESSER review, and one thing of note was that we did not have a fixed assets policy. During the policy review, it was recommended but not required. And so now as part of that review, I'm asking the board to adopt policy DID, capital asset inventories, and that will satisfy the notation from the ESSER review.
Sorry, I was asking, is this something we can take care of tonight?
Yes,
So just adopt it on first reading.
that would be appreciated so then I can get them to close the.
Oh,
review.
that's why it says action. That's why it says action, boss.
No, I know.
Okay.
Sure, first, you could make this, the board could just approve this right here.
Yeah, so that's what I think we need to do. So I'll need a motion in a second. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
I move to approve policy DID, capital assessment inventories as recommended by OSBA.
And I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, let's call for the vote. All in favor? Sorry, Cheryl. And then you're up again for policy EFA.
Local wellness, the board did adopt, it's a federal requirement as well as a state requirement to have a local wellness policy and a local wellness plan as prescribed by that policy. The board did adopt the policy, the recommended one, during the policy review. And the board is required to adopt new language. It's just an extra section with a little more language to it. It was noted in our most recent Nutrition Services Administrative Review that we needed to go ahead and adopt the most recent one.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second.
I move to approve policy EFA, local wellness for first reading as recommended by OSBA.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second discussion. Okay, call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Passes. Gonna move into reports, curriculum and instruction. Mr. Director Leone.
Okay, that would be me. Well, anyway, I have to apologize for acting to the numbers. When I see those numbers, it's I'm going to get a little bit more explanation of the numbers and numbers. That was encouraging. I don't know if it's encouraging or not, but that's not working.
Now we get you twice.
Oh, okay. But anyway, one thing that Mr. Vickery said that was really important to hear, and being on this committee, I've learned that it is true that there's a plan. And, and it's not just that those numbers aren't just Roseburg, it's the whole country. We're all about in the same place. Worrying about our country is one thing, but our focus is more or less to be concerned on what's happening here. So, and Dr. Weber is on it. Let me put it that way. On March 20th, we got together and we discussed these reading and math, all this reading and math data at the middle school and high school levels. And I've always been skeptical of data, especially how it's used. And again, Dr. Weber went on and explained how we use it. And it was very good, very clear on what we're doing and how the teachers will use it to develop curriculum. It's meeting the need. It's the plan is really to put that data to work for us. The administrators in the same way are doing that, reviewing at every grade level, which is really encouraging. And then I always have questions again about data. And so she went on and explained about how data is used. The quality of the data is assessed. The capacity of the system to use that data and the culture of the buildings in the school are brought into bear and looking at that. She went on to explain that our approach to student learning data is very holistic, and that our goal is in line with basically our main goal for our students, and that is to ensure that they graduate with a plan for their most successful future, if that sounds familiar to all of you. The committee also reviewed the assessment requirements for each level, including the state assessments, English language, arts and math in grades 3 through 8, and then grade 11. And then science at 5th, 8th, and 11th grade. So again, the high school ELA and science state assessments have already taken place, so we've got that behind us. But the other state assessments are taking place following in the spring break, which we haven't had spring break yet, have we? Okay. Along with state summative, is that the word? Summative assessments. The district holds formative assessments for students. I had a question on what the difference is earlier, and the summative, is that still right? Okay, yeah, got it. It's just basically a summary of all of those assessments. Formative is more what's happening now. Let's see. Oh, and then we went on and talked about discussed how we're going to be holding summer school regarding the focus on literacy. Summer learning will be offered at the to the elementary students who need additional support, and this is funded by early literacy grant that we have money coming forward. We also discussed grading policies and the need to ensure our students go through a series of experiences that increases access, vigor, and choice, so that our students can be the best they can be. And then the last, we had a great meeting in the team. We really fire a lot of questions out and we get them answered. And so again, there's a plan. But the plan is for science is that right now we're in the process. We're in the middle of doing a series of pilots. There's 3 options on the curriculum that we're going to be using. Dr. Weber went on and just explained, because I asked her just earlier, how's it going? And she said, it's going great. Teachers are excited. The students are responding in positive ways. And hopefully soon we'll have an answer of where we're going with this. So that's what I got. All right.
Any questions? Mike? Okay. You're up.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to provide a short report for you tonight. I want to just start off, as I normally do, acknowledging the fact we have incredible educators, an incredible staff of dedicated people, and we have amazing kids. And we also are giving these kids really great experiences. I can say this as a parent and an educator both. I'm excited for what our kids are able to do. A couple of things to just point out here. We could have picked 100 different things, but FBLA and FCCLA students were competing at state conferences over the last couple of weeks here. Several of those kids qualified for nationals. We've had family literacy and STEAM nights with community partners. We had a local timber company, the Swanson Group, who gave our kids some tours of their facility. And they have a couple of great facilities, including a great plywood, maybe the most state-of-the-art plywood plant up in Springfield, and they have a stud plant here. And then we've got kids doing great things outside of school, like the Little Mermaid Junior production that's coming up this month. Just a smattering of the great things kids are doing in that co-curricular world and great things staff are doing in the curricular and co-curricular world. I want to talk just a little bit about budgets. If you've been following the news recently across the country and certainly across the state, budget is something being talked about in many places. There are actually school districts that are running out of money this fiscal year. The end of ESSER funds, which Oregon has determined that will be September 30th. With money spent and work completed, the federal government actually says you can still have projects that have been encumbered, but we're working up the state timeline. Thank you, Terry. So we've settled great contracts for our staff, and we have some things coming up that were not planned for. Some of these were in the legislature, some things were on unemployment that wasn't planned for. I've never actually seen a more collaborative process in the budget. And I just want to reiterate that we've had good processes in the past. Cheryl and I meet a few times a week. We've talked about, where we're at with moving the work forward, where we're at with budget, what we need to be thinking in the future. But I just want to thank, it's very much been a collaborative effort with our board and staff to really see how do we build a budget and a plan that is going to work as we've looked at data, as we've talked to staff, as we've talked to students. And I just want to thank the business office and many others who have really worked to have a not just a balanced budget, which we need to adopt, a budget we can afford this balance, but also a very coordinated budget that is rooted in what the board expectation is around care, support, and instruction. And that budget work has been moving for the last several months, and in earnest, we'll start with the budget committee next week on Wednesday. It's important, I think, we know this here, for the public to know in this meeting that we have a fiscal responsibility to live within our means. It's tricky for those of us who have been in Oregon for a while. Budgets go up and they go down. There's recessions and different budget formulas. It's not always ideal, but we live within our means, and we continue to prioritize some of our long-term facilities needs. Heard about some of the safety needs, but also looking at what can we do within the budget. We've been unsuccessful since I've been here 3 times with the capital improvement bond, something we have to continue to talk about as a community. But the budget reflects taking care of staff, taking care of students, providing what we need there, hopefully thinking forward about how to change some outcomes and support more professional learning, and also some of those long-term needs that we need. And so thanks to the business office and others for working on that. And again, we'll work on that process formally next week. I did want to mention too that and thank Chelsea Duncan for this as well. We've really had to think differently. Communication's changing. Communication, the way we communicate is changing, and our tools have not caught up with the 21st century expectation that parents have and the ways to communicate. I get frustrated every time I have to jump on one of our technologies, which is like from the 1980s. I feel like it's old, it doesn't work well, and we will be replacing One Call and Remind and moving toward Parent Square for effectively all notifications. We'll really have a couple systems we're working on. We still work on Canvas, and we still work in Synergy, and it has a student view and parent view component, and we'll now have parent view. We'll work with staff on what this means, and so they can better understand it. I kind of know where those lanes are. The intention here is to really involve people in relevant and in quick information that's accessible. Parents will finally have a way to opt in and opt out of the ways they want to receive it. It is a little bit tricky because many of these tools are redundant. They all have different features. They're all trying to outdo each other, and it makes it tricky for us. So we're going to work to make sure that students and staff and community understand the tools. And we feel we've been piloting this one this year and feel like it'd be a nice step in the right direction. I think Remind was actually acquired by Parent Square, so we'll work on that integration here soon. I did want to mention that it is hiring season, and Terry's not the only one hiring. We are hiring as well. I wanted to start by giving a shout out to the board and those involved in the process of our new agreement. It's making a difference in our hiring. We know that we need to retain our staff. I think we were able to sign an agreement that acknowledges their work and also make it very attractive to come join our organization. We want to be competitive. And in fact, we want to be the best option, not just in the county, but in the state and the region. We have 22 licensed positions right now. We're filling those at the job fair. We have made a couple of offers already. Michelle's not here tonight because she's attending the job fair with some other individuals as well. I'll give you one example. We have 2 positions here at RHS, assistant principal positions, and we have 19 applicants for those 2 positions. And that is very different than it has been the last few years. And so again, I think that the contract work is helping, and we are looking to have many applicants and be able to choose from the best of those. Rod mentioned tonight about the upcoming board meeting on the 8th. I think it's the first time ever the 2 boards have ever met in the history of both Umpqua Community College and our school district. We are working closely. It's probably more than just a partnership. It's really around integration. And so tonight, Dave talked a little bit about what it means to have these AP courses, these coordinated courses to provide dual credit. On both options of those, as we continue to partner with them, it's great for our kids and our community. It's great for workforce. And like Dave said tonight, the options that we are putting out are really what our community is asking for. Our businesses are excited about these. We need about 5 or 6 years. We're telling them, get 5 or 6 years ahead, and what you see in your business, we can build that for you. And so it'll be great to pull the boards together as we do some common work. Just in terms of the horizon coming up in May, we will have an in-person meeting with Cooperative Strategies. They are the ones that 5 years ago, 2019, completed our facilities use, our new facilities planning, long-range planning document. I do appreciate, I'll pick on Rod here for a minute, who said, if they're coming out, we're supposed to be here tonight in a Zoom meeting. And a few board members said, that's not acceptable. If you're going to come, you're going to be in person. So we bumped that to the 22nd. So thank you for that. We'll also have a report from Phoenix Charter on the 22nd on that work session. 2 more items here. I do want to, we've talked a little bit about this. We're seeing a bit of an epidemic in racist incidents across our community, across our county, across the state, and in some ways across the nation. We are going to, and I appreciate the board's leadership on this, we are going to be creating a committee. It's going to be overseen under the umbrella of a new board subcommittee to help to better understand what's happening with the student experience and to find solutions on preventing racism in our schools. I've had the opportunity to meet with a couple of parents and kids recently, and we have to do better as a system to better understand what's happening and take a look at everything from the way we explicitly talk about this, what's in our curriculum, how do we address this, to build a system of support for all kids. Our strategic plan clearly outlines the fact that all students should be seen, heard, and respected, that kids should be supported and cared for. And if this is happening like it is, it runs counter to both our strategic plan and the morals we hold for our kids, the expectation we hold, the moral imperative to make sure when kids come with us that they feel safe and that we return them back to their homes a little better than they came to us. So I appreciate the board forming the subcommittee, and I'll continue to say this needs to be a community effort. It can't just be us, but I don't see active work in this area. And so we're going to start the work in our area and invite others to join us. One last thing, open enrollment starts April 22nd. And so communications have been out and going out. We'll have more communications in the next couple of weeks. And we have kindergarten roundups and some pre-K events coming up for enrollment. And we will keep the board up to date on where our current enrollment is and where our future enrollment is in our enrollment reports you receive. Thank you.
So Jared,
Just real quick, can we go back to that first slide?
We can.
Not your title slide, but the. There you go.
Yep.
Bottom right.
Yeah.
So is it a requirement to know how to do the robot to enter the robot seat?
No, I think it's, volunteers can probably be, we could probably find a space for a volunteer to, be in the mascot.
I just want to say, that robot was dancing around and it made my Hillcrest Elementary School son's day.
That's cool. Good. Appreciate that feedback.
Okay, it's time for individual director's report. Director Shirtliff.
So I'd like to say thank you to the RHS students and staff for putting on the Pride Night last week. As a father of an incoming freshman, it was fun. It was it was exciting for me, but mostly for my daughter to see all the students excited about the activities that they take part in, and them being the ones to tell her about, hey, you can come and do this and try this and explain things. So it was just a cool event as an incoming freshman. So thank you for everybody.
I would like to thank Mr. Russ Bolin for coming out of retirement and taking the principal position at Fullerton 4. And then I would really like to thank him for continuing in this position for next year. Thank you, Mr. Bolin. You're doing a great job, and we look forward to seeing how you lead this elementary
All right.
school even
Rush
further.
just joined us right there. He just turned his, she's right there. There you go.
Nice comments. Steve?
Oh, I got nothing.
I just wanted to also thank Principal Vickery for inviting us, and I've enjoyed looking at the artwork that your kids have displayed. It's always amazing how talented you see it early on, and we expect they're going to go places with it. Thank you also for the curriculum and instruction, the hard work that you've been doing. And thank you for continuing. We're wanting the best for the kids, and we're being careful about our selection because we want it to be engaging and factual. And so we're just carefully looking at everything. Just wanted to let you know that. Thank you.
How many people have been to a softball game so far? Raise your hand. Okay, if you haven't, there's a doubleheader coming up this weekend, so be there.
3:30. 3:30.
3:30.
Okay, I have just a couple things. And I'm not asking for staff to do any more work, but there have been some activities that I wasn't aware of, and that I'd like to maybe poke my head in and seen. The robot things, I wouldn't want to be in the costume, but our STEAM folks are pretty creative. But is there a centralized calendar that's got events? What events that we could possibly get and make a choice, and then call you, say, is it okay for us to go to this? I know Fremont had a really cool, can't think of her name. Her father was World War One. Anyway, there have been things that I would have loved to have poked my head into and seen. So if there's a centralized,
Yeah, it's great. We have, it's not really centralized right now. We have, each school has their own webpage, and we've actually tried to make some improvements to that, because we've had people call in the community, like, where's, for the band event, there's a play. So we will work on that and
Okay,
make
I'm
sure the
not-
board has that.
yeah,
Yeah, we would love for you to attend, and we can talk about kids, but you really need to be around them.
yeah.
And I will guarantee this, I feel younger every time I'm with kids, and you feel better. And quite frankly, I feel more optimistic about the world when I'm around kids. So we'll make sure we can get you something between Janet and I and staff and Chelsea. We'll figure something out.
Okay, appreciate that. And then for Melissa, before the year's out, we'd like to go You what? Okay, so you got that. Just a couple of reminders on the 17th at 5:45. That's our first budget meetings at 6, but at 5:45, there's pictures. And we've changed it a little bit. We're recognizing our budget committee members because they're going to play a very big role. They play a very big role, and it's nice that the community will get to know who's on the budget committee besides the board members. And so I'm looking forward to that. Jared talked about The Little Mermaid Junior, I think it's called. There's a really cool play that's going to be happening here, The Addams Family.
Yep.
And it's the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 26th at 7. And then the 21st, I believe, is a 2 p.m. Matinee. So I just think our kids are so amazing from middle school to high school, what they do. Before we wrap up, I couldn't close tonight without once again talking about National Teachers Appreciation Week without mentioning, and I'll do this whenever I get a chance, and may she rest in peace, my 5th grade elementary teacher who actually saved me on many, I won't get into great detail, but Mrs. Dorothy Wilson. And this week, National Teacher Appreciation Week, she's one of the many thousands that we have why we celebrate teachers. And I know you all can have stories about teachers who have made an impact in your life. And I think it's a really big deal. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity to celebrate this.
I just remembered, I did want to thank, was it the librarian at Fullerton that put together that student appreciation lunch or the student of the month lunch? Yeah, I did. That was amazing.
Good.
It was funny. I was talking to one of the kids there, and he he's like, oh, what's your job? And I work in insurance, so I'm like, oh, this is gonna be lame. So I told him that I worked, for Liberty, and he goes, oh, the mustache man. And I was like, what? No, he started off and he said, do you work for Liberty Mutual? And I was like, what? And he's like, the mustache man. And it was just a great conversation. It went from, like, oh man, this is gonna be an awkward conversation to it was just a joy. So I don't know, was it the librarian that put that together? Yeah. Fir Grove, Fullerton, Fir Grove. Well, at least they're both F. I just wanted to
Thank you for doing
that event was amazing.
Yeah, I'm great. And then one finally, Jared was talking about communication. It's changed over the years. I've been on the board a few years. And I can remember when we were having discussion on putting rotary telephones in the classrooms. So things have really changed over the years. And I don't know if it's for the best, but life is good. Okay, next meeting in a couple weeks. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.